Two presidents holding dual rallies in North Georgia today, a state that is set to be critical in the November election. President Joe Biden campaigned in East Atlanta, and about 60 miles north, former President Donald Trump rallied in Rome. Fox 5 has team coverage for you on the ground at both events. We want to begin with Fox 5's Rob DiRienzo, who was with President Biden today.
Well, President Joe Biden aimed to energize his base here at Pullman Yards in East Atlanta ahead of Tuesday's presidential primary here in Georgia. That's when he could hit that magic number to clinch the nomination.
Please join me in welcoming back to this great state of Georgia, President Joe Biden.
Clayton State University student Desiree Lennon introduced President Biden to a small crowd at Saturday's rally. Both of Georgia's senators told voters everything is at stake in November.
The democracy itself is on the ballot.
Once again, Georgia will determine our nation's future.
And Georgia is a key swing state that Biden won in 2020 by less than a percentage point. He needs every ballot he can earn.
Because you are going to win this primary for us on Tuesday, and because we're going to win in November.
But this time around, there won't be any big statewide races to help energize Democrats and get them out to the ballot box. Meanwhile, Biden painted a stark contrast between former President Trump and himself.
Here's the guy who's kicking off his general election campaign on the road up with Marjorie Taylor Greene. It can tell you a lot about a person who he keeps company with.
A protester briefly interrupted the president, calling him Genocide Joe, referring to the war in Gaza. Boos and chants of 4 more years drowned out the activist as Secret Service took him out.
I don't resent his passion. There's a lot of Palestinians who are being unfairly victimized.
One name that didn't come up in the president's remarks was Laken Riley after mentioning her murder during the State of the Union. One Democrat from Roswell, who also served in the state house, says both presidents' presence shows how crucial Georgia is in the political landscape.
Both of them coming here shows how important Georgia's going to be, and that everyone, you need to go out and vote.
And come Tuesday, both primaries are essentially a foregone conclusion, but we can expect to see both the president and the former president here in Georgia a lot in the coming months. In East Atlanta, Rob DiRienzo, Fox 5 News.
This is only the beginning, Rob. Thank you so much. President Trump came out to an electric crowd in Rome, emphasizing again how clear Georgia is to his campaign. Fox 5's Eric Mock joins us from Rome. And Eric, while President Biden stayed silent on Laken Riley, Trump was all but silent there.
Absolutely, Eric. He mentioned her several times, made her a real center point of his speech. And Laken Riley's family was actually sitting front row at the Forum Center along with hundreds of other supporters. There wasn't a seat empty in that smaller arena, albeit, here in Rome. And again, he made it very clear that Georgia is key for any kind of victory in November. Former President Donald Trump did not hold back Saturday in a more than 2-hour speech in a packed Rome rally. From criticizing President Biden,
crooked Joe Biden has directed lawfare and weaponization against his political opponents, and that includes really all of us.
To Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis.
Fonnie Willis. Fonnie.
Trump told the fired-up crowd he believes he will have more than enough votes by Tuesday to secure the Republican presidential nomination.
The brightest light in every room, they told me, and she was the whole world to her parents and to her sister.
For the first time, the family of Laken Riley made a public appearance, sitting front row at the event and meeting with Trump earlier in the day, while Trump placed the blame of the nursing student's death at President Joe Biden's feet.
Laken Riley would be alive today if Joe Biden had not willfully and maliciously eviscerated the borders of the United States and set loose thousands and thousands of dangerous criminals into our country. To her family tonight, I promise you, I will demand justice for Laken. Justice for Laken. Thank you.
Trump told the crowd he needs Georgia in November in order to win back the presidency.
Georgia could be the state that puts us, look, if we win Georgia, we're going to win the election. Let me put it that way, okay? We have to win Georgia.
You heard him say it there. We have to win Georgia. And, you know, in his continued attacks on Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, he didn't just, you know, make fun of her name like you heard him say there, but he said that he claims that her relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Way was improper and claims it was all just a bid to try to get funding. Now, of course, DA Willis vehemently denies that, and a judge is set to rule on that in the coming days. For now, reporting live in Rome, Eric Mock, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, very, very strong political day here in Georgia. Thanks so much. And Tuesday is the day to cast your ballot in the Georgia primary. According to the Secretary of State's office, election officials have already accepted nearly 370,000 ballots statewide. The busiest day was Tuesday with more than 50,000 voters. Cobb, DeKalb, and Fulton counties with the highest voter turnout.